Everybody?
No, you should like.
Okay, so we good to go. All right, y'all. So what I'm gonna do, we're gonna I'm gonna go through a quick lesson, but the brothers told me don't say it's a quick lesson, so it might not be a quick lesson, but I think it's gonna be a quick lesson. So we'll see. But what we're talking about, and I'm gonna clarify exactly what I'm talking about. We're talking about serving your brother, loving your brother as you love yourself. As an assembly, we getting ready. With everything's going in a great direction. We got a great group of saints, brothers and sisters alike. There you go, Umbry. You can set your phone on that. And we're going to continue to strive to higher levels of holiness. And what I've been doing, how many of y'all watched the leadership video? So everybody was able to check it out. It's going to be a whole series just to lay things to the line and ensure that there's accountability and expectations are turned into results, and there's clarity about what the expectation is, how we operate, so that nobody's operating in any type of gray area. Does that make sense? So this video here is gonna also be right in line with that video. It's gonna be a part of that series. And also, I did a video this morning with the saints at our house that somebody else coming in? Okay. That Emmanuel, he edited and uploaded it, and that thing should be going live when? Around 3. And the title of it is?
Long-term diligence.
So the title of that video is Long-Term Diligence. That video is exactly, it's a part of what we're going to be talking about here. It's going to be a part of that series, okay? And I want y'all to check it out. I think you will get a lot out of it. And basically, in a nutshell, what it's talking about is shiny object syndrome, staying focused, because that's a big part of what we're doing, how we're moving, and it's going to really help. I want y'all to understand the direction we're going and the why, so there's no ambiguity or questions in your mind about how we need to move. And kind of to sum it up, instead of having the grass is greener on the other side mentality where you're looking for you're constantly changing what you're going to do, what you're going to work on, your spiritual growth, your career, whatever it might be, and having this mentality, the grass is greener on the other side. The reality is the grass is greener where you water it. So if you continually work and water in a particular area, the grass is going to be greener there. Does that make sense? Y'all get that? Okay. So that's what that's about. So what we're talking about today is the key part of brotherhood, and that's being a reliable saint. So listen as we go through this, because this is critical. This is how you love your brother as you love yourself. And what I'm talking about here is critical for the growth and development of our community, that we, love our brothers as we love ourselves, love our sisters as we love ourselves. Okay? So I'm going to start out and being a reliable saint, the impact on community when you are someone who can be counted on. Okay? And this is what people might not consider. And that's what I'm trying to do. Hit things that people might not be aware of. Okay. So consistently delivering on commitments fosters strong trust within the community. When you know you can count on your brother, it builds trust. It builds the brotherhood in the community. Okay. Your actions become predictable, allowing others to plan and depend on you. So again, this is how being reliable is going to impact a community. All right. Your dependability means saints don't have to constantly follow up or redo your work. Okay. And this is what we have to strive for in what we do. And I'm not saying everybody got to be walking around here perfect, walking on eggshells, fearing, oh, I messed up here. I forget stuff. Umbry forgets stuff. People be forgetting things. There's little screw ups. Like, for instance, here, we just implemented a new video messaging, virtual message, virtual meeting system. It's going to be hiccups. But if we move 6 months from now and it's still like this, then there's a problem. You see what I'm saying? So don't stress yourself out, but everybody needs to be vigilant and be looking within themselves and around themselves to see if they're wrestling with this in any areas of their life. I can tell you, I found a bunch of areas where I'm working on this stuff. And particularly in the last, I would say 5 or 6 months, I've seen a lot of areas, and even more so just in the last month, I've really dug in deep on this thing, okay? That and the shiny object syndrome, having that long-term focus. So we have to constantly be examining ourselves. Examine yourself to see if you be in the faith, okay? That's one of the key things, because we got to work our own salvation out with fear and trembling. All right. Your dependability means saints don't have to constantly follow up or redo your work. Knowing everyone is pulling their weight creates a positive and supportive environment. When people aren't pulling their weight and the load is unequally distributed on the community, it's just like a load being unequally distributed in a car or something. It's harder to steer the car, and if the load gets too big, it could cause an accident. And these things do happen. Do you understand? Because we're coming together with all things in common. So we have to make sure the load is equally distributed. Everybody's pulling their weight in areas they need to pull it. Okay. You gain a reputation as a valuable and dependable community saint. Okay. So if you're reliable, you're going to get a reputation for that. Okay. And again, this is how reliability impacts a community. Leaders, brothers, and sisters are more likely to entrust you with important tasks and opportunities when you're a reliable saint. Okay? The impact of not getting things done and not being a reliable saint, the impact it has on a community. Okay? Everybody needs to understand this. Erosion of trust. Repeatedly failing to deliver undermines community trust and cohesion. Okay? And it's not like an explosion, it's erosion. Erosion is just a granular, little by little, it just eats away until the thing falls apart. Again, we've heard stories, I've talked about it before, communities where people weren't reliable and it impacted the whole community in a major way. Okay. So another way not being reliable impacts a community. Unpredictable outcomes. Others cannot rely on your contributions, leading to uncertainty and difficulty in planning. Okay. Increased burden on others. We talked about this earlier. Saints have to pick up the slack, leading to resentment and burnout. Again, it's an erosion. So there's something you're not doing. It's constant. People are constantly coming at you and it's an issue or whatever. And eventually it can lead to burnout. And again, all of us, we come together as a family. We're talking long-term effects. This isn't something that just happens over the course of 2 weeks or 6 months. We're talking about we plan on living together. You know what I'm saying? This thing happens over years. Okay. So, okay. Negative community morale, feeling like some members aren't contributing equally breeds frustration and negativity. Damaged reputation. You become known as someone who is unreliable and doesn't follow through. Missed opportunities, lack of productivity, and missed deadlines can lead to lost opportunities for the whole community, okay? And yourself, okay? And again, there was a story I'm not going to say it because I'm doing this video, but there was a story I told y'all about a community where saints operating in an unreliable type behavior undermine the whole community in a major way, okay? Unmet deadlines and incomplete tasks can derail the entire community, okay? Increased stress for others. Your lack of follow through creates more work and stress for your community. Communication breakdown. Okay. So again, this is how not being reliable will impact the whole assembly. Forgetfulness can lead to misinformation and miscommunication. And you know, we talked about communication is the lifeblood of any group, team, community, you name it. Hindered progress. Overall, community progress is slowed down when individual responsibilities are not met. Okay? So, going to kind of go through this again from a different perspective. Fruits of a reliable saint. Okay? These are the fruits of a reliable saint. So this is what you'll see. This is what you can observe in yourself and in your brothers and sisters around you. Consistent follow through. You consistently do what you say and you say you will do, meeting deadlines and fulfilling commitments. Proactive communication. You keep others informed of your progress and potential roadblocks. Takes ownership. You accept responsibility for your tasks and outcomes, both success and failures, okay? Attention to detail. You are thorough and careful in your work, minimizing errors and oversights. Resourceful problem solver. You actively seek solutions to challenges instead of getting stuck. So, we talked about resourcefulness. And not being resourceful and coming up with elaborate ways of making excuses, but being resourceful in a way where you being resourceful in where you come up with a way to meet obligations especially when it's critical stuff. Organize and prepare. You plan your work effectively and have what you need to succeed. You communicate truthfully and don't make excuses to cover up shortcomings. When unsure, you ask for clarification to ensure you understand expectations. Okay. You are present and engaged when needed. Okay. So when you are on task, on job, and you're there, you're locked in, and you're engaged. Okay. Experiences. So this is the fruit you're going to see when somebody is not, it says experience of individuals who can be counted on. So this is from your perspective, what you're going to experience yourself. Saints and leaders trust your judgment and rely on your contributions. You are often given more significant and challenging assignments. Your dependability fosters stronger working relationships built on trust. You feel a sense of pride and satisfaction consistently delivering good work. Being organized and proactive helps manage workload and minimize last-minute pressures. Okay? You build a reputation as a valued and essential community member. Your reliability gives weight to your opinions and suggestions. Consistently meeting expectations boosts your self-confidence. Your dependability contributes directly to the overall success of the community. Knowing you are reliable reduces internal conflict, worry about letting others down. So, and to a degree, it comes to a self-esteem thing, okay? Now, signs you can't be counted on, okay? You frequently fail to complete tasks by the agreed upon time. You often have reasons why you couldn't deliver, deflecting responsibility. The truth is, it wasn't important enough to remember because there are things you don't forget. And I'm telling you, being in the military, I'm just telling you from experience, Umbry can confirm it and tell you too. When you can do stuff perfectly, because there's things we have to do in the military. If we don't do it perfectly, people die. We don't miss. I've installed engines on airplanes and not for years on end and not made one mistake, because if I made a mistake or forgot something, somebody would die. And I'm telling you, I was the last set of eyes on those engines. So there is a degree, a level everybody here can operate at when it's needed. I'm not saying you have to do this in every single thing you do, but there's critical things that we have to do as community members that you have to execute it perfectly, okay? And again, if you watch that longevity video, the video I was just talking about that Maine was going to upload, you know, one of the things we run into where people aren't reliable is over the long term. It's like, hey, I need you to do this. And they're doing it and then they just kind of fall off. And because you're not staying on top of them, pouring energy on them to keep them doing it, they just drop off and stop doing it. Now, I have people in our assembly that I assign them stuff. Some of the sisters, I give them something to do. And lo and behold, a year later, I'm sitting here asking, why are you doing that? And they're like, because you told me to. You said do this, that. And I was like, yeah, I did. Damn. I forgot about it. And you're just keeping that thing going. That's what we need. That's how we got to operate. Okay. Okay. So again, we're going over signs you can't be counted on. Your level of commitment and quality of work varies significantly. Okay. You don't keep others informed about delays or issues. Important details are frequently missed or forgotten. Again, these are reasons that you can look in yourself and see if this is so, if some of these things. Again, I'm reading through this myself and seeing a lot of areas. I'm not like admonished from this. I have to look at this stuff too, okay? I have to consider this in me too. I got areas I need to work on myself. This is blanket. This is hitting everybody. Look, nobody here is perfect. Everybody got areas that this is gonna hit. The video I did yesterday, all these videos that are gonna come out in this series are blanket videos. It's gonna hit everybody, okay? You are, so there's another reason, these are more signs that you can't be counted on, that you can look at in yourself. You are reluctant to own your mistakes or take accountability. You often lack the necessary tools, information, or planning for tasks. You make commitments that you don't follow through on. Check this out. That guy, anybody ever seen Alex Hermosi? Anybody ever seen him? Y'all gotta check him out, but it's funny. And he's big on staying locked in and focused. And he was out somewhere, and some dude's like, "Hey man, can you do a podcast with me?" And he's like real focused on his schedule and on his time. And his dude's like, "Hey, we could just do a quick podcast, man. Come on." He was like, he pulled out his calendar and he showed the dude. He's like, "Hey man, you see my calendar?" He's like, "I'm not gonna do it." And he showed his calendar. His calendar was completely empty. And the dude was like, "Your calendar's completely empty." And he was like, "Yeah, and I want to keep it that way." I was like, damn. He is ruthless with his time, and you got to learn to say no to stuff. That's how the way to stay focused and achieve long-term goals is to say no. Okay? You have to look into that, but you'll see that that's true. Okay? Okay. You make commitments that you don't follow through on. You expect saints to cover for your shortcomings. You appear uninterested or detached from your responsibilities. Okay? And then we're going to go through this real quick. This ain't too long. It says experiences of individuals who cannot be counted on. Okay? Saints become hesitant to rely on you or your contributions. Saints feel burdened by having to compensate for your unreliability. So this is the effect that it has on the individual that you're affecting with these behaviors, okay? That's the vantage point of this little list. You are often overlooked for important tasks and duties. You develop a reputation as someone who is unreliable and undependable. Your work and actions must be more closely monitored. So now you're consuming someone else's time because they got to watch you closer. Lack of dependability can lead to conflict and weaken brotherhood and sisterhood. Deep down, you may experience a lack of self-respect due to your inconsistency. Your unreliability can negatively impact the community's overall success. While you might avoid initial effort, the consequences of unreliability can create significant stress. Over time, saints may distance themselves due to the frustration of working with you. This can destroy a community. Okay? Now, we've been reading through all that. Now, we're going to just go Bible it with 3 Bible verses. Okay? Colossians chapter 3, verse 23. And whatsoever ye do, do it heartily as to the Lord and not unto men, knowing that knowing that of the Lord ye shall receive the reward of the inheritance, for ye serve the Lord Christ. And that's what it says there. But again, do your work as unto the Lord. And that right there is a witness, is a testimony. It speaks about your beliefs. You know what I'm saying? Your actions speak louder than anything you could say. James chapter 2, verse 18. Yea, a man may say, thou hast faith, and I have works. Show me thy faith without thy works, and I will show thee my faith by my works. Okay? And then Matthew 5:16. Let your light so shine before men that they may see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven. Okay? So now what we're going to do real quick is just go through how to improve your reliability in whatever area you might find in yourself or see around you or whatever. And step one, the number one thing, you have to want to be reliable. You have to get sick of being unreliable. And in order to do that, you have to become aware and realize and see the areas you might be unreliable or not being that brother in. Okay? So we're going to read this. Instead of dwelling on why something can't be done, you actively seek what to make it happen, what you need to do to make it happen. Okay, so don't dwell on why it can't be done. Dwell on a solution. Okay, you might come up with one, you might not. You might have to reach out to somebody or whatever. So, and again, we're talking about what you need to do to improve your reliability. You own your responsibilities and outcomes. Learning from challenges instead of deflecting or blaming or making excuses. Low self-esteem causes people to be overly concerned with how they appear physically and socially to others. And this is part of what causes people to lie and to make excuses and to not accept the true reality of who they are, what the situation is. Okay? All this stuff you can get in these deliverance manuals and get this stuff ironed out. A lot of this stuff, you're going to need deliverance. Again, we're born in sin, shaped in iniquity. We've come up. Some of us most of us had traumatic things happen growing up. You have stuff that needs to be dealt with, and it needs to be brought to the surface. And that's one of the benefits of being in a assembly. You know, I know there's people who are just a part of Straightway. You're really not a part of Straightway unless you're in an assembly, because this is where you're going to grow. You're going to begin to grow and develop, and you're going to be pushed and challenged to get your spirit right and get that deep stuff that you need to dug out. Okay? So reading again, low self-esteem causes people to be overly concerned with how they appear physically and socially to others. And this is part of what causes people to lie and give excuses and try to make themselves look good and not be accountable. So it's literally just keeping you on the same, operating in the same thing. And it hinders true change and spiritual growth and development. Again, we're going over what you can do to grow and develop reliability. Okay. You anticipate potential issues and take steps to mitigate them before they become roadblocks. You creatively find the necessary tools, information, or support to overcome obstacles. I was talking to the brothers today. Look, we live in the information age. Information is no longer at your fingertips. It's literally all you got to do is speak it. You don't even got to scroll and look for it anymore. You got AI. It's mind blowing where it's at now. If you're not using it, you will be. You're no longer in the information at the fingertips age. All you got to do is think it and say it into your phone, and AI will do the rest of the work for you. So if you remain stagnant in these areas, it's a decision, it's stubbornness, it's just deeply rooted iniquity that you're making a choice to keep there. Okay? And remember, I want to say this too. You need to watch, because it's not going to happen instantly. You need to watch that video that I just did. What's it called again, Emmanuel?
Long-term diligence.
Long-term diligence. Okay? You need to watch that. So you got a concept in your mind of what change looks like and what's required. Okay? Because it doesn't always come quick. And even you get deliverance, you get delivered from something, you still got to walk that deliverance out. And that's where a lot of people miss it at. But anyway, getting back on topic. Okay? You creatively find the necessary. Okay, we read that. Challenges are seen as opportunities for learning and development, not as insurmountable barriers. Okay? You value the time and effort of your community members, brothers and sisters, and understand the importance of timely completion. Okay, this is part of loving your brother. Okay? Meeting deadlines ensures projects stay on track and prevent bottlenecks. Let's see. Okay. Okay, we don't need it. Okay. Okay. So now I'm going to read these 3 verses. Or actually, it's 2 verses. Philippians chapter 3, verse 3. Or I'm sorry, verse 13. For we are the circumcision which worship God in the Spirit and rejoice in Jesus Christ and have no confidence in the flesh. Okay? And I'm sorry, that was Philippians chapter 3, verse 3. Don't have confidence in your flesh. Don't put confidence in your flesh. Do y'all hear me? Put confidence in the word and in the truth. Putting confidence in the flesh is going along with these thoughts, feelings, emotions, impulses that come up when they're clearly not in alignment with the word. Don't put confidence in that. Put your confidence in this truth. And when you see, don't be so shook up when you recognize that your thoughts, feelings, and impulses are contrary to the word. Don't pridefully and fearfully and insecurely excuse it away. Deal with it, face it, look at it, okay? I have to do it. I'm not sitting around here walking on on sunshine and nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? I have stuff that I have to deal with regularly, that I'm working on, that I'm battling, okay? And this is how, by this time next year, you're not going to know who this person is that's sitting in this room right now. This is how you're going to be somebody totally different a year from now. Or you could just blow it off and you'll be the same person right now that you're going to be next year. But we're here again. What's our tenet, our vision statement here? Y'all know what it is. And this is what it's about. This is book. This is pressing forward to the mark. So listen to Philippians chapter 3. Now we're reading 13, covers this. Brethren, I count not myself to have apprehended, but this one thing I do. Okay? Forgetting those things which are behind and reaching forth unto those things which are before, I press toward the mark for the prize of the high calling of God in Christ Jesus. So you're pressing forward to the mark. This ain't the place where you're going to stay stagnant. Like y'all have committed to this. Y'all have, and I ain't saying y'all said anything to me and committed anything to me. Y'all have prayed and seeked out the Most High to press forward to the mark. That's some agreement you made with him. And you got to ask yourself, are you doing that? Do you see that fruit in your life? You know what I'm saying? The community environment is a demanding environment, and what it demands is that you grow. And that's why you see a lot of these people, man, they don't want to be a part of a community or an assembly and all that stuff. You seen the saints who've left or the people who have left, they couldn't hack it. When it was really, they were really facing that Goliath that's within them, they made a decision to tuck and run. You see what I'm saying? It's a demanding environment. Proverbs chapter 27, verse 17 says, iron sharpeneth iron, so a man sharpeneth the countenance of his friend. Okay? I have another verse, but does that make sense to everybody? Okay. Do y'all have stuff you want to add in? Questions, comments, concerns, anything like that?
When you said don't put confidence in the flesh, it just the passage that came to mind is I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength.
Exactly. And for those of y'all who might not heard it, he quoted the verse when I said don't put confidence in the flesh. Hey, can you text me that so I can add it to the? He was saying don't put confidence in the flesh. He quoted the verse, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. So you can fight that. You know what I'm saying?
I got something else for that one too. It goes along with it.
All right, go ahead.
Proverbs 3:5-7. Trust in God with all your heart. Lean not into your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him. He shall direct thy path. Be not wise in thine own eyes. Fear God and depart from evil.
That's good. Text that to me so I can read on here.
All right.
Cannot hear him.
Okay, yeah, I'm getting ready to read it. They're gonna text it over to me. Let me take my do not disturb off. That might help. You sent it. Y'all both sent it as a text message.
I'm going to send it as a text here.
I'm gonna send it.
Okay. So I'm gonna read those verses. Did anybody else have anything? Okay. When those verses come, I'm gonna read. And y'all will be familiar with them when y'all hear them. Okay. Y'all sent them yet? Okay. Let me see. I could probably pull it up quicker than y'all could send it.
Philippians 4:13.
Okay. So Philippians 4:13, and it reads, that was the one I just said. All right, I got yours, Brother Enoch. So Brother Enoch read Proverbs chapter 3, verse 5. I'm going to start at verse 5. It says, trust in Yah with all thine heart, and lean not unto thine own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths. Be not wise in thine own eyes. Fear Yah and depart from evil. And I'm telling you, y'all, I'm just telling you from recent experience. It's like I had a situation and I just saw the wickedness in me. And it was so, this is what causes people to kind of make excuses and not go down, because it is difficult. It's so fleeting. Okay. It's like the wind blowing, and it blows and then it's gone and you don't know where it went. And that's how these thoughts, feelings, emotions, behaviors are. Some of them are so deep down operating in you, when they surface, it's so uncomfortable, because a lot of times it's strong emotions. You just want it to be gone. And once it's gone, you don't want to think about it, But you got to go and the Bible tells you to examine yourself. You got to examine yourself. Y'all, that is the heavy work. We have the deliverance manuals. We have You got your brothers, you got the word, you got what's getting taught. But you got to utilize these tools. Otherwise, it is like I was telling the brothers this morning, man, time don't give a shit whether you change or not. Just, you heard Pastor say, man, you got people in their 60s and don't know a goddamn thing. Life done just passed them by. Like, if you don't work on these things, you're going to stay comfortable. I'm sitting here telling you, if you don't work on this stuff, you're going to stay comfortable. You are. But down the road, it's going to bite you and you're going to be very uncomfortable. But I'm telling you, if you do the work and you work on these things, and you got to watch the video on the long-term, what's it called again?
Long-term diligence.
The long-term diligence video, so you can expect and understand how this campaign is going to be, that you're going to be waging war on these things. It's not going to be a quick thing. It's just going to be a slow thing. You got to pace yourself correctly, but you got to put this work in, because I'm telling you, nothing, I'm going to tell you straight up, I'm not going to come to you individually no more. I'm backing off. I'm not coming up to people, pushing them to work on themselves and stuff. You're going to hear this. And if you come to me and you need guidance, I'm going to give it to you, all that you want. But if you decide you want to pull your head in your turtle shell and just go through life like that, hey, you were told to work your salvation out with fear and with trembling. Does that make sense? 1 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 26. I therefore so run, not as uncertainty, so fight I, not as one that beateth the air, but I keep under my body and bring it into subjection. That's not a comfortable process, but you got to pace yourself doing it so you don't get overwhelmed, you don't get burned out, and that long-term diligence video goes into all that. So I'm not going to get sidetracked with that. Okay, lest that by any means, when I have preached to others, I myself should become a castaway. So this is a lifestyle. You see what I'm saying? You got to live this thing. You ain't going to just talk it. Even, look, the reason I'm sitting here doing these lessons and teaching more is because 2 people came to me and said, hey, we'd like you to speak and teach more. I was like, okay. I'm going to do what I do, But it's, this is what it's about. Did anybody else have? Go ahead.
The book tell you to resist the devil and you will flee, not resist correction for your brothers and flee.
That's good. So what Brother John said is the book tells you to resist Satan and he will flee. He said, but the word doesn't tell you to resist your brother. Okay? And that's heavy. Like, listen, look to your left. Look to your right. You see that ugly individual that's next to you? Except for you, Chris. You got it, But anyway, that's your brother or your sister. Okay? Their word should hold weight when they come to you saying something. It should hold weight. And you got to cultivate a response when somebody comes tells you something and you feel that feeling that be coming in, that anxiety that come in your stomach when you get cut, when you get corrected. Like, you got to develop a reaction to you got to develop a new response to, I need to make a mental note. Something's there. Something's there. Might need deliverance. Might need to get in this word. Might need to do this. Might need to do that. You see what I'm saying? Does that make sense? What your brother says to you holds weight. And you need to stop putting so much weight on the thoughts, feelings, emotions, impulses, and stuff that pops up in your mind. You understand? I'm not saying ignore it, but you got to process that. Through righteousness, through the word. Okay. All right, Enoch sent me a verse, James chapter 4, verse 7. So then, subject yourselves to Elohim, resist the devil, and he shall flee from you. Okay? And what's resisting? You know, if you wrestle, what is it? Is it called the clinch in wrestling too? When you're in the clinch, what are they doing? They're like pushing on each other and resisting. No, you know, they're not letting that dude control them. They're countering it and they're resisting. And you have to develop that in your mind, casting down imaginations and any high thing that exalts itself against the knowledge of Yah. Y'all, this is and you know what it says? We wrestle not against flesh and blood. It's like a mental war. Just putting it in simple terms, a spiritual war. That's where the battle's at, with thoughts, feelings, emotions, and impulses, and becoming aware of them, examining yourself. Okay? So,
Yeah, Mike,
go ahead.
actually, in wrestling, when you clinch, you're setting up. It's not a position of resistance. It's a position of positioning yourself in order to take down the other opponent.
Okay. Well, when I watch it, when I be watching UFC, it be looking like or Greco-Roman, it look like they like pushing on each other. But I get,
It's grappling.
yeah, the grappling. But if you push too hard, that mug will turn and so yeah.
Yeah, that's I just wanted to, I've been wrestling for 5 years.
Well, when you
Went to state twice, so yeah, it's just a setup. So
Okay.
coincide exactly what you're saying.
Okay.
You know, when you meet that resistance and you all you're doing is positioning yourself for the throw and or the takedown.
Okay.
To give yourself the advantage.
What were you saying?
Yeah, I mean, like the book says, resist the devil, he shall flee. When you're wrestling against an opponent, one of y'all is gonna give in eventually. Keep resisting the devil, he has no choice but to flee because you're gonna take him down.
Right.
Especially when Yah strengthens you.
Right. Hallelujah. Yep. And how do you let Yah strengthen you? How do you do that?
Obedience.
Prayer, fasting, seeking the Lord, deliverance, studying your word, meditating on that word more than you're meditating on other things. Like those are the tools. Those are the weapons. You know what I'm saying? The weapons of our warfare, you know? You see what I'm saying? Being around your brothers. You know what I'm saying?
Don't forget about humility. You know, on the Most High, he said he resists the proud and give grace unto the humble.
And what Chris has said is, don't forget about humility. He resists the proud. And Yah will resist you and let you get humiliated to bring forth humility. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Right.
It's actually the one before that one again.
Okay, so
The thing about resistance, though, it's interesting. It's like a violent act. It's violent and it's kind of opposing and really opposing and not complying.
forces. It's a force against a force.
and that's why it says it talks about, it doesn't say we fight not against flesh and blood, because fighting you like, you know, but wrestling you're consuming tons and you're using all your body muscles and it's wrestling. You like, there's no space between you. Go ahead, Emmanuel.
I was going to say, when Daniel fasted for 21 days, it took 21 days for that angel to come, and he had to fight for that 21 days.
Exactly.
That was a resistance from that prince.
You gotta fight for your blessing. You gotta seek the Father. You gotta seek the Father for growth and development in these areas, wherever it might be. You gotta seek the Father for it, pray, ask Him for it, but then you gotta actively go after it too. Just like that ties into why I like Joshua 1.
I was thinking of that.
That's my book.
Be strong. Good coach.
Mm-hmm. All right, anybody else got anything? All right, Sister Rachel, you can just, I guess, I ain't telling you where to go, but I mean, you probably gonna go somewhere else. All right, he said, no. But you, and then I guess Coy is gonna do something with y'all sisters. I think she might pray or something. And then once Rachel heads out, we got a couple more things we need to go through. For those of you who came on here, appreciate y'all tuning in. Check out the other videos on there. Shalom, shalom.